The people of my father's house know that I'm not part of any drama they do. When my elder brother died, after we were grieving, took him for burial, some elders went and sat under one kola nut tree. Meanwhile, I respect elders, but when it comes to matters of the faith, there's a divide. And they crossed their legs, brought some list. You bring this number of kola nut, you bring this number of star lager beer, this number of gouda, and just giving some very feltish and diabolic. You know, all of those things is to command your allegiance. There's no power in it. If you don't do it, what they do is that they go to the herbalist or the sorcerers that watch over customs and tradition, and that sorcerer will come and kill you. And they come to tell you that it's because you disobeyed those things. That's why it happened. It's a lie. It's a native doctor that comes to kill you. He's the gatekeeper. He's the custodian. So some of us who know, we will not bow to Caesar. And if the native doctor comes, he's in trouble. Because he will not just die, but the shrine will go on fire. I looked at them, I just laughed. When they brought it, I became angry. I didn't even follow the program again. I carried the microphone myself. And I took charge of the program. 1, 2, 3 people come and give testimonials. And 2, 3, 4 people came, gave their testimony. I said, let's go to the grave. We went there, we buried him and turned back immediately. They went and coerced my father later that he must do some things. And people are living in fear. Hebrews chapter 2 verse 14 said, for as much then as the children were partakers of flesh and blood, he said, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that has the power over death. That is the devil. But see how the devil keeps men in bondage. Verse 15. It said, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. There are many who are subject to bondage because they don't know that when Christ died and was buried, we were delivered from every ordinances of man and the world. That is why it said in Colossians 2:14, it said, having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a public show of them, triumphing over them by the cross. But what did he do first? He first of all blotted every handwriting of ordinance that was against you. See, if you don't know this, you can't be a Christian. Being a Christian is beyond I attend the church. You know, we have watered down Christianity and people are fighting to defend denomination. Somebody meets you, the first thing he calls is the name of his church, but he's not standing on truth. And people can kill to defend the name of their church, but they don't even know what they are standing on. Christ was buried, and because of that, you have the power to be separated from the world. And that is not all. On the third day, he rose again from the dead. So the life you are living now is a life beyond the grave. This is why we are sure that when we leave this world, we are not hopeless. When we leave this world, we are transiting to glory. Absence from the body is presence with the Lord. When he rose from the dead, he brought us into a new economy. Romans chapter 6 verse 5. It said, if we are risen with him, then we will walk in the newness of life. This is life beyond the grave. And this is where the victory of the Christian begins from. Paul speaking in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 17, he said, if Christ did not rise from the dead, he said, our faith is vain and our preaching is empty. He said, if only in this life we have hope, we are of all men most miserable. So the fifth canon of the faith is that Christ rose from the dead. This is what we preach, and this is the substance of the gospel. And it still doesn't stop there. Christ ascended to heaven.